Assalamualaikum. I am Talat Suhail. I welcome you all to Virtual University's program on Personality Psychology. Dear students, today is our lecture number 30, and in this 30th lecture we will be beginning with another interesting theory, that is Henry Murray's personality. And in this theory we'll be talking about a number of interesting concepts which you'll enjoy listening to. This particular theory brings with it a number of constructs which you are familiar, but Henry Murray is interpreting them according to his own perception and perspective. So we'll be talking about Henry Murray's personality. But before beginning with this new lecture, let us recap what we did in lecture number 29. Now in lecture number 29, we talked about Raymond Cattell's factor analytic trait theory of personality. Now basically for Cattell, trait is a factor which is gathered through the statistical technique of factor analysis. So factor analysis के जरिए से जो factors निकलते हैं उन्हें Cattell ने नाम दिया trait का. So what is a trait? A trait basically is a mental structure, an inference that we get through the behavior of an individual. For example, we say Mr. F of Virtual University is a very hardworking, is a very dedicated, is a very committed person. और हमने ये कहा कि ये जो हम सारी ट्रेड्स हार्ड वर्क, डेडिकेशन, कमिटमेंट की निकाल रहे हैं, ये थ्रू फैक्टर एनालिसिस निकली. और ये जो मुख्तलिफ फैक्टर्स हैं इनको Cattell is labeling them as traits. Dear students, then we went through a huge list of different types of traits, such as unique traits, common traits, surface traits, source traits, constitutional traits, environmental traits, ability traits, temperament traits, dynamic traits. And the most important dynamic traits include attitudes, urges and sentiments, or sentiments में the sentiment of self. Now this could even be interpreted as urges, which are the basic primary needs, and meta-urges, which are further divided into attitudes and sentiments, particularly the sentiment of self. The major sources of data collection about personality. In Cattell's view, there are three major sources of data about personality: the life record or the L data, the self-rating questionnaire or the Q data, and the objective test or the T data. The specification equation tries to study what is personality. According to Cattell, personality is that which permits a prediction what a person will do in a given situation. Then we talked about development of personality, heredity and environment analysis, research techniques की बात की, R technique की बात की, P technique की बात की, 16 personality factors और 16 PF की बात की, culture, fair, intelligence tests की बात की. So basically that was as far as we went in Raymond Cattell's factor analytic theory. Dear students, that is as far as our lecture number 29 was concerned, in which we talked at length with you about Raymond Cattell's factor analytic trait theory of personality, जिसमें हमने कहा कि it was Cattell who extensively used the statistical technique of factor analysis, and it was through factor analysis that a factor was located, and this factor was equated with a trait. And trait is a mental structure or an inference that we gather about the consistent behavior patterns of an individual. और हमने उसमें आपके लिए मिसाल दी कि suppose there is Mr. F who works in virtual university and this Mr. F is very hard working, very committed, very dedicated, and is available round the clock even after his work hours at his institution. So we gather these traits through his behavior, through observation of his behavior. फिर हमने कहा कि कैटल ने एक हमें बहुत लंबी लिस्ट दी है ट्रेड्स की, और वो सारी लिस्ट जो है that tells us about different traits of individual. The sources of data collection that Cattell has given us is basically the L data, the Q data and the T data. जनाब बात यूं है कि even Cattell carried out a huge list of researches as well. He used the R technique, the P technique. He developed 16 personality factors और 16 PF. और फिर क्योंकि उसने एबिलिटी ट्रेड्स पे बहुत काम किया, इंटेलिजेंस पे बहुत काम किया, तो उसने कल्चर फेयर इंटेलिजेंस टेस्ट भी बनाए. डियर स्टूडेंट्स, दैट इज एज फार एज आवर लेक्चर नंबर 29 इज कंसर्न. नाउ लेट अस बिगिन विद अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग थ्योरी. इट इज माय वेरी प्लेजेंट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी to begin with you another very interesting theory of personality, which is Henry Murray's personology. सबसे पहली बात तो personology क्या है और हेनरी मरे किस तरह डिफाइन कर रहे हैं पर्सनैलिटी को. उसके बाद हम उसके कोर कॉन्सेप्ट्स में से जाएंगे, लेकिन कोर कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे आने से पहले हम उसका बायोग्राफिकल स्केच भी देखते हैं, फिर कोर कॉन्सेप्ट्स पे आते हैं, रिसर्च टेक्निक्स पर आते हैं. And mind you, we do this with each and every concept is discussed with you with examples, and examples from our culture, examples from us. So let us begin with Henry Murray's personology. Personality refers to a construct, a concept. ये construct और concept जो है ये पिन पॉइंट करता है कि an individual is a very complex creature, and this complex creature has to be studied in its complexity. So we come across a number of definitions that Henry Murray has given us about personality. So let us begin with Henry Murray's personology. The term personality was used by Murray, which refers to understanding of an individual in its full complexity. Personality is an abstraction formulated by a theorist. Number 2, it refers to series of events that ideally span over lifetime. Number 3, it reflects novel, unique, recurrent and enduring patterns of behavior. Number 4, personality is located in brain. Number 5, personality functions reduce conflicts, satisfy individual needs, and make plans for attainment of future goals. Example, television producer. Number 1, his or her personality is an abstraction. Number 2, it refers to series of events that ideally span over lifetime from childhood to adulthood. Number 3, it reflects novel, unique, recurrent and enduring patterns of behavior, his education and training. Number 4, personality is located in brain, so imagination and perception of the TV producer counts. Number 5, personality functions reduce conflicts, satisfy individual needs, and to make plans for attainment of future goals, such as to be in charge of entire productions of television. Dear students, we are talking to you about Henry Murray's personology. और हमने कहा ये वो term है personology which Henry Murray has used to describe an individual in its total complexity. That is, the total complex structure of human personality is being reflected in Henry Murray's personology. उसके बाद हमने आपसे ये कहा कि Henry Murray ने he gave a number of definitions of personality during his career. So he was trying to understand personality more. सबसे पहले उसने कहा कि पर्सनैलिटी इज एन हाइपोथेटिकल एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. नंबर 2 से ये कहा कि इट स्टडीज द इंडिविजुअल ओवर entire lifespan from his childhood to his adulthood. उसके बाद he focused on let's say he focused on the novel unique characteristics of the individual. यानी हर इंडिविजुअल के अंदर जो नोवेल्टी, यूनिकनेस और how one individual differs from the other one. Then he is talking about that personality is located in the brain. So if there is a brain, there is a personality. No brain and no personality. और पांचवी चीज वो ये कह रहा है, is focusing on that personality functions. They try to reduce conflicts and focus towards attainment of future goals. और उसमें हमने आपके लिए मिसाल ली टेलीविजन प्रोड्यूसर की. हमने कहा सपोज देयर इज अ मिस्टर और मिस एक्स टेलीविजन प्रोड्यूसर. तो अब फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल हिज और हर पर्सनैलिटी इज एन एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. नंबर 2, इट इज स्प्रेडेड ओवर फ्रॉम चाइल्डहुड टू अडल्टहुड. नंबर 3, इट फोकसेस on novel, unique training and different educational things that the producer has gone through. Number 4, it focuses on the thinking and perception. क्योंकि हमने कहा personality is in the brain, so no brain, no personality. और number 5, what are the goals of this person, this VU television producer? Well, the goals may be to become in charge of the entire virtual university television productions. So that is how Henry Murray would view personality. So dear students, that is as far as our term of personology is confirmed. जनाब आपसे बात रहेगी और बड़ी डिटेल में बात रहेगी. सबसे पहले हम आपसे बात करेंगे कोर कॉन्सेप्ट्स की. नंबर 1, डेफिनेशन ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी. Number 2, proceedings and serials. Number 3, serial programs and schedules. Number 4, ability and achievement. Number 5, the dynamics of personality. Need, press, tension reduction. Thema, need integrate, unity thema. जब need की बात करेंगे जनाब तो we'll be talking about types of needs. Number 1, primary and secondary needs. Number 2, overt needs and covert needs. Number 3, focal needs and diffuse needs. Number 4, proactive needs and reactive needs. Number 5, process activity, modal needs and effect needs. बात आपसे रहेगी integration of needs, levels of analysis, tension reduction, thema, need integrate, vector value scheme, genetic maturational determinants, learning, uniqueness, unconscious processes, the socialization process, characteristic research and research methods, in which we'll be talking about number 1, intensive study of small numbers of normal subjects. Number 2, the diagnostic counsel. Number 3, the instruments of personality measurement. Number 4, representative studies. Number 5, current research. Number 6, Mackeyland and social motives. And we'll summarize Henry Murray's personology for you. Dear students, this is as far as we'll be going about. We'll be talking with you about the biographical sketch. We'll be talking about the core concepts. It's a very interesting theory. You'll enjoy it a lot. When we are talking about Henry Murray, everybody usually, whether he or she is a student of psychology or is not a student of psychology, does come across a test, a projective test, TAT, thematic a perception test. आप में से बहुत से लोग ऐसे हैं जिन्होंने हेनरी मरे को नहीं पढ़ा, लेकिन आप you are familiar with the psychological test TAT. Now this test consists of some 31 picture cards. 30 are picture cards and 1 is a blank card. और एक पिक्चर कार्ड एक वक्त में दिखाया जाता है, say for 5 minutes, and then the person has to make up a story. Now the story has to be about the characters in the picture, what they are doing, what is going to be the outcome of this interaction that is taking place in the picture. And the basic idea is that the individual usually identifies with one of the character, usually the hero or the main character, and projects his or her all needs on that individual, and after identification tries to see that person as him or herself, और अपनी तमाम needs जो हैं वो उस पे project करते थे. So we usually come across this particular test. This is a test which is extensively being used in different settings, not just in clinical psychology, not just in personality assessment, not just in vocational interest or need assessment, but in other areas as well. So dear students, we will be beginning with you with this very interesting theory. So let us go through the biographical sketch. Murray was born in New York in 1893. He graduated from Harvard and enrolled in embryological research. Then he conducted biochemical research in Cambridge, which secured his place in PhD in biochemistry. Then he turned to psychology because he, by sheer chance, had an opportunity to read Jung's book Psychological Types. He requested Jung to allow him to visit him, and he had an opportunity to spend 3 weeks with him. Then he met Christiana Morgan and married her, and then it was a total commitment and love relationship with psychology. He died in 1988 at the age of 95. Dear students, we are talking to you about biographical sketch of Henry Murray, और हमने ये कहा he was born in 1893 in New York. He studied at Harvard, but his subject was embryological research. Later he got himself enrolled in biochemistry at Cambridge, and he did his PhD in biochemistry. So embryology, biochemistry, no link with psychology, no connection with psychology. Then interestingly he read Carl Jung's book Psychological Types, और ये किताब पढ़ने के बाद उसे psychology में he got interested in this new discipline, and he wrote a letter to Jung and asked him if he could meet him, and this wish was fully realized when Jung invited him to come to Germany, and it was here in Germany that he had 3 long weeks to interact with a giant. Now this sort of polished him and created his more interest in psychology. Second important event is that he met Christiana Morgan and they got married. And it was since then onwards that his total commitment was with psychology. He died in the year 1988 at the ripe age of 95. जनाब हमने पहले भी आपसे ये बात की थी, अब फिर दोहरा रहे हैं, वो ये थी कि when Henry Murray began conceptualizing personality, when he began to think about personality, he came up with different definitions of personality. अभी जब शुरू में हमने आपसे बात की थी तो हमने कहा था कि he gave a number of definitions, तो आप ये कह सकते हैं he was trying to understand personality. Definition of personality. He gave a number of definitions of personality at different times, but in all the definitions he seems to give adequate weight to history of the person, to abstract nature of personality, and the physiological processes underlying the psychological processes. Number 1, personality is an abstraction formulated by a theorist. Number 2, it refers to series of events that ideally span over lifetime. Number 3, it reflects novel, unique, recurrent and enduring patterns of behavior. Number 4, personality is located in brain. Number 5, personality functions reduce conflicts, satisfy individual needs, and make plans for attainment of future goals. Dear students, we are talking to you about Henry Murray's definition of personality. और हमने कहा कि he gave a number of definitions of personality. सबसे पहले, personality is an abstraction. It is something hypothetical. Number 2, It spans over a longer period of time, say from childhood up till adult mature age. Number 3, it focuses on novel, unique aspects of an individual. Number 4, personality is located in the brain. That is how you think, how you perceive, how you interpret data. And number 5, personality functions, it tries to reduce the conflicts that are there, and it focuses on the attainment of future goals. बात यूं है कि at different times in his lifetime he gave different definitions of personality, और हम इसे यूं भी इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं कि he was trying to understand human personality from different angles. Second important concept, proceedings and serials. Proceedings refer to subject-object or subject-subject interactions of sufficient durations to include significant elements of any given behavioral sequence. The serial refer to a single unit or formulation of behavior taking place over a longer period of time, such as marriage, friendship, or a career in business. Example, proceedings refer to subject-object relations, that is working on the computer or driving a car, or subject-subject, that is teacher and student, boss and employee interactions of sufficient duration. The serial refer to a single unit of behavior spread over a longer period of time, such as marriage, friendship, or career in business. तो जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है प्रोसीडिंग्स और सीरियल्स की. प्रोसीडिंग्स रिफर टू सब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट और सब्जेक्ट सब्जेक्ट इंटरैक्शंस दैट आर ऑफ सफिशिएंट लॉन्ग ड्यूरेशन. सो जब हम कह रहे हैं सब्जेक्ट ऑब्जेक्ट इंटरैक्शन, तो दैट इज an individual and machine, or an individual driving a car, or an individual working on the computer. Subject such as teacher and student, or two students, or boss and employee interacting with one another over a sufficient period of time, that is proceedings. और जब हम serial की बात करते हैं तो serial refers to basically a single unit or formulation of behavior that is taking place over a longer period of time, over a longer duration of time, such as friendship, career, in business, or any other thing. So dear students, that is as far as proceedings and serials are concerned. Number 3, serial programs and schedules. Serial programs are orderly arrangements of sub-goals that are stretched into future, say for months or years. Example, an individual, say Ambreen, wants to become a doctor. It's her goal. Now her goal requires years of study and special training. So she develops a set of sub-goals, each of which will play a part in bringing her closer to getting a medical degree. The schedules refer to devices for reducing conflict among competing needs, and if one is efficient in constructing schedules, one can reduce the number and intensity of one's conflicts. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है सीरियल प्रोग्राम्स और शेड्यूल्स की, और हमने कहा कि सीरियल प्रोग्राम्स आर एक्चुअली ऑर्डरली अरेंजमेंट ऑफ द गोल्स, ऑर्डरली अरेंजमेंट ऑफ द गोल्स और द सब गोल्स. और इसमें हमने कहा कि वी हैव गॉट एन इंडिविजुअल, अ यंग गर्ल अम्ब्रीन, हु वांट्स टू बिकम अ डॉक्टर. सो शी हैज टू स्टडी फॉर ए नंबर ऑफ इयर्स in order to reach her goals. So her goal of becoming a doctor is spreaded over or subdivided into a number of sub-goals that will lead her towards attaining her medical degree. उसके बाद हमने शेड्यूल्स की आपसे बात की, और शेड्यूल्स जो है वो असल में टेक्निक्स एंड स्ट्रेटजीज हैं हाउ वन कैन रिड्यूस द नंबर एंड द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स इन वंस लाइफ. और अगर आप एफिशिएंट शेड्यूल्स कंस्ट्रक्ट कर लेते हैं तो यू आर एन इंडिविजुअल हु विल बी इन अ पोजीशन हु विल बी फेसिंग लेस नंबर ऑफ कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स एंड द इंटेंसिटी ऑफ द कॉन्फ्लिक्ट्स विल बी लेस एज वेल. So that is as far as our serial programs and schedules are concerned. Number 4, ability and achievement. These are of central importance for the individual. In almost all of his research, Murray has appraised subjects in terms of ability, achievements and leadership. तो जनाब ability और achievement जो हैं that is of central importance in Henry Murray's personality. और जितनी भी रिसर्च उसने कंडक्ट की है वो फोकस करती है एबिलिटी पे, अचीवमेंट पे और लीडरशिप स्टाइल्स ऑफ इंडिविजुअल्स. वी विल टॉक अबाउट दैट इन डिटेल अ बिट लेटर. Number 5, the dynamics of personality. It is in the representation of human striving, seeking, desiring, wishing and willing that Murray's contribution to psychological theory has been most distinctive. One might fairly say that his position is primarily a motivational psychology. The dynamics of personality include need, press, tension reduction, thema, need integrate, unity thema. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब डायनेमिक्स ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी की, और हमने कहा डायनेमिक्स ऑफ पर्सनैलिटी रिफ्लेक्ट करते हैंगे व्हेन एन इंडिविजुअल इज स्ट्राइविंग, सीकिंग, विशिंग, डिजायरिंग. सो दैट इज द मोटिवेशनल साइड ऑफ द इंडिविजुअल. और ये जो डायनेमिक्स हैं इनमें इंक्लूड करता है नीड, इसमें इंक्लूड करता है प्रेस, इसमें इंक्लूड करेगा टेंशन रिडक्शन. वील टॉक अबाउट थीमा and we'll talk about different types of themas, how needs are to be integrated, different levels of the needs. We'll talk about them. So let us go through the dynamics of personality. और हमने ये कहा dynamics of personality में सबसे पहली चीज जो है वो है need. Number 1, need. A need is a construct, a convenient fiction or hypothetical concept which stands for a force in the brain region, a force which organizes perception, apperception, interjection, cognition and action in such a way as to transform in a certain direction an existing unsatisfying situation. A need is sometimes provoked directly by internal processes of certain kind, but most frequently when in a state of readiness by the occurrence of one of a few commonly effective presses, environmental forces. Thus it manifests itself by leading the organism to search for or to avoid encountering, or when encountered to attend and to respond to certain kinds of press. Each need is characteristically accompanied by a particular feeling or emotion and tends to use certain modes to further its trend. It may be weak or intense, momentary or enduring, but usually it persists and gives rise to a certain course of overt behavior or fantasy, which changes the initiating circumstance in such a way as to bring about an end situation which still appeases or satisfies the organism. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब नीड की. हमने कहा a need is a construct, it is a force, this force is in the brain and it organizes our behavior. So it helps in organizing your behavior. Number 2, this need has a feeling part as well. Number 3, it leads to an emotional state of satisfaction. तो सबसे पहली चीज a need is a force and this force is in the brain and it organizes your thinking, your perception. Number 2, it makes you to interact with environmental forces. यानी ये आपको किसी प्रेस के साथ इंटरैक्ट करने के लिए फोर्स करते हैं. और नंबर 3, in the end when a need is satisfied it leads to satisfaction or satiation. So ये क्या है? Let's take an example. Number 1, hunger is a need which stands for a force which organizes perception and action in a certain direction. You can say there's a bodily disequilibrium. Number 2, it forces the organism to search for or to respond to certain kinds of press. That is, environmental search is there. Number 3, hunger need has a particular feeling or emotion. It may be weak or intense, momentary or enduring, but it persists and give rise to overt behavior or fantasy that satisfies the organism. Murray used the intensive study of 11 small number of subjects to arrive at a tentative list of 20 needs. Although this list has been subjected to considerable modification and elaboration, the original 20 needs remain highly representative. These variables were presented in Explorations in Personality in 1938 with an outline of pertinent facts concerning each need, including questionnaire items for measuring the need, accompanying emotions and illustrations of the need. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है हेनरी मरे के एक बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट कंस्ट्रक्ट और कॉन्सेप्ट की, और डियर स्टूडेंट वो है नीड, और हमने भी टॉक्ड अबाउट इट इन डिटेल विद यू विद एन एग्जांपल. उसके बाद हमने ये कहा कि यूजिंग जस्ट ए स्मॉल सैंपल ऑफ जस्ट 11 सब्जेक्ट्स, it was Henry Murray who derived an elaborated list of some 20 personality traits, some 20 personality factors, और उसको उसने अपनी किताब एक्सप्लोरेशंस इन पर्सनैलिटी में शामिल किया. एंड दिस लिस्ट इज वेरी मच pertinent, very factual, full, very important one, and it still is there. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब हेनरी मरे के नीड कंस्ट्रक्ट की. हमने कहा नीड इज अ फोर्स, इट्स देयर इन द माइंड एंड इट ऑर्गेनाइजेस वंस बिहेवियर, or when it organizes behavior after its satisfaction, one is satiated, the organism is satiated. Now, जब need की बात हो रही है तो let us talk about different types of needs. Different types of needs are there. Number one, primary and secondary. First of all, there is a distinction between primary and secondary needs. The primary or the viscerogenic needs are linked to characteristic organic events and typically refer to physical satisfactions. These are the need for air, water, food and rest. The secondary or the psychogenic needs are presumably derived from the primary needs and are characterized by a lack of focal connection with any specific organic processes or physical satisfactions. Illustrative of these are the needs for achievement, recognition, exhibition, dominance, autonomy. Dear students, we are talking to you about types of needs, और उसमें सबसे पहली जो type of needs हैं वो हमारे पास है primary needs, that is the viscerogenic needs or the bodily set of needs, या जिनको आप primary motives कहते हैं, and they are concerned with let's say food, air, water, rest. So all your physical needs would come into viscerogenic or primary needs. दूसरी तरफ हमारे पास है सेकेंडरी नीड्स और साइकोजेनिक नीड्स, और ये इसमें शामिल हैं जिस तरह अचीवमेंट, ऑटोनॉमी, डोमिनेंस, एंड दीज आर द नीड्स विच आर देयर इन ऑल ऑफ अस. जनाब हमारे अंदर प्राइमरी नीड्स भी हैं जो कि आपके फिजिकल सर्वाइवल के लिए एसेंशियल है. आपके अंदर सेकेंडरी या साइकोजेनिक नीड्स हैं जो कि आपकी साइकोलॉजिकल और मेंटल वेल बीइंग के लिए बहुत एसेंशियल. Number 2, overt needs and covert needs. Second, we have the distinction between overt needs and covert needs. That is manifest needs and latent needs. Here, Murray was differentiating between those needs that are permitted more or less direct and immediate expression and those that are generally restrained, inhibited or repressed. Or one might say the overt needs typically express themselves in motor behavior, while covert needs usually belong to the world of fantasy and dreams. The existence of covert needs is in the large part the outcome of the development of internalized structures, that is superego, that define proper or acceptable conduct. So all observable behaviors are your overt needs. Covert reflects all your latent behavior. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब सेकेंड कैटेगरी ऑफ नीड्स, overt needs and covert needs. Overt refers to the manifest needs, covert refers to the latent or hidden needs. Overt refers to all your motor behavioral needs and covert refers to वो hidden needs जो हमें नजर नहीं आ रही होती, such as fantasizing and dreaming activity of an individual. So third category of needs is also there, पहली हमने कहा प्राइमरी और सेकेंडरी, दूसरी हमने कहा overt and covert. So let us go through the third type of needs. Number 3, focal needs and diffuse needs. Third, there are focal needs and diffuse needs. Some needs are closely linked to the limited classes of environmental objects, whereas others are so generalized as to be applicable in almost any environmental setting. Murray pointed out that unless there is some unusual fixation, a need is always subject to change in the objects towards which it is directed and the manner in which these are approached. That is, the sphere of environmental events to which the need is relevant may be broadened or narrowed, and the instrumental acts linked to the need may be increased or decreased, and if the need is firmly attached to an unsuitable object, this is called a fixation and is considered pathological. However, as Murray indicated, the inability of the need to show any enduring object preference and jumping from object to object may be just as pathological as a fixation. Dear students, we are talking to you about third category of needs, और हमने आपसे ये कहा कि third category of needs refers to focal needs and diffuse needs. Focal needs तो वो need हैं which are linked up or connected to a limited number of objects or limited number of forces in the environment, and diffuse needs are the ones which are linked or connected with a number of objects. So that is as far as our focal and diffuse needs are concerned. Let us talk about fourth type of needs, proactive needs and reactive needs. Fourth, there are proactive needs and reactive needs. The proactive need is one that is largely determined from within, one that becomes spontaneously kinetic as a result of something in the person rather than something in the environment. Reactive needs, on the other hand, are activated as a result of or in response to some environmental event. Murray used these concepts also to describe interaction between two or more persons, where usually one individual can be identified as the proactor who initiates interaction, asks the question, and in general provides the stimulus to which the other must respond. And another individual can be identified as the reactor, one who reacts to the stimuli provided by the proactor. Dear students, we are talking to you about fourth type of needs, and that is proactive needs and reactive needs. जनाब, proactive needs तो वो need हैं which are within the person. That is, they are inside the person. They are inherent in the person. And reactive needs are those needs when you respond to or when you react to an individual or an object in the environment. तो हमने कहा कि इसमें एक proactor और एक इसमें दूसरा individual है. Proactor तो वो है one who initiates the conversation, one who begins something, and as a result of his initiation of the conversation or dialogue, the other individual may react or respond to him. For example, there is a clinician who asks a set of questions and the client reacts or responds to that. तो एक तरफ तो है जनाब प्रोएक्टिव नीड्स जो इंडिविजुअल के अंदर है, दूसरी है रिएक्टिव नीड्स जब एक इंडिविजुअल किसी स्टिमुलस को रिस्पॉन्ड करता है, रिएक्ट करता है और उसको रिस्पॉन्स देता है. So that is another important category of needs. There is one more set of needs, and that is process activity, modal needs and effect needs. Fifth, there is distinction between process activity, modal needs and effect needs. American psychologists, with their conventional emphasis on function and utility, have consistently emphasized effect needs. Needs that lead to some desired state or end result are the effect needs. Example, an individual is hungry and the person should eat something and get satisfaction. So that is effect need. Number 2, the random, uncoordinated, non-functional operation of various processes, say vision, hearing, thought, speech and so forth, that occurs from birth on is called process activity. This is sheer function, pleasure, doing for the sake of doing. Modal needs involve doing something with a certain degree of excellence or quality, and it is the activity that is sought and enjoyed, but it is now rewarding only when it is performed with a certain degree of perfection. Dear students, we are talking to you about effect needs, modal needs, and of course, we are talking to you about process activity. जनाब बात आपसे हो रही है 3 चीज़ों की, process activity, modal needs और effect needs. Effect needs तो वो needs हैं which lead to some desired state or result. यानी किसी भी need का जो desired state और effect है that refers to effect needs. Process activity refers to all those uncoordinated, all those activities which you are doing for sake of doing, that is seeing, observing, moving. So you are doing it from birth onwards for sake of doing. That is as far as process activity is concerned. Modal needs refer to doing something and doing it with quality and excellence. आप एक काम करते हैं, लेकिन जब आप वो काम बहुत अच्छी क्वालिटी और एक अच्छे स्टैंडर्ड से परफॉर्म करते हैं, इट इज देन दैट दिस पर्टिकुलर नीड इज सेटिस्फाइड एंड इट इज कॉल्ड modal need. So there's process activity or modal needs, and of course there is effect needs. Dear students, that is as far as our types of needs is concerned. So Henry Murray has been talking about different types of needs, जिसमें हमने कहा प्राइमरी नीड्स, सेकेंडरी नीड्स. हमने आपसे बात की इसमें प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी and a number of overt and covert needs. We talked to you about process activity, modal needs, effect needs. So all of these needs have been identified and have been explained by Henry Murray. Number 3, interrelation of needs. It is evident that needs do not operate in complete isolation from each other, and in situations where 2 or more needs are aroused simultaneously and motivate incompatible responses, it is the prepotent needs such as pain, hunger, thirst that ordinarily will be translated into action. As prepotent needs cannot be postponed, a minimal satisfaction of such needs is necessary before other needs can operate. In his investigation of personality, Murray habitually employed a set of concepts to represent conflict involving important needs. Thus, it is customary in his research to secure estimates for each subject of the intensity of conflict in certain key areas. For example, autonomy versus compliance, achievement versus leisure. Dear students, we are talking to you about interrelationship of needs. Now, we said that there are 2 needs, and these 2 needs, they are aroused simultaneously and they are incompatible with one another. So 2 incompatible needs aroused or they emerge at the same time simultaneously, but take into account, try to understand, it is the prepotent need such as hunger, thirst, which has to be, or pain, which has to be satisfied first, then the person can satisfy the other need. So हमने कहा कि 2 needs हैं, वो दोनों incompatible हैं और वो दोनों एक ही वक्त में emerge करेंगे, आपके सामने आती हैं, but then the individual has to attend to prepotent need such as hunger, thirst, pain first, and then he'll be able to attend to the other incompatible need that has emerged at the same time, because prepotent needs just cannot wait. If you are in pain, if you are hungry, if you are thirsted, you cannot attend to the other needs. You first have to fulfill the prepotent need, and it is only then that you can move about to the other, fulfilling the other need. Under certain circumstances, multiple needs may be gratified by a single course of action. In instances where the outcome of different needs is behaviorally the same, Murray spoke of fusion of needs. Another important kind of relationship among needs is referred to by the concept of subsidiation. A subsidiary need is one that operates in the service of another one. For instance, the individual may show aggressive needs, but these may be serving only to facilitate the acquisition needs. In any instance where the operation of one need is merely instrumental to the gratification of another one, we speak of the first need as subsidiary to the second. Tracing chains of subsidiation can be of great value in revealing the dominant or the root motives of an individual. Dear students, we are talking to you about certain needs, और हमने ये कहा कि बाज़ वक़ात multiple set of needs emerge and they can be satisfied or satiated in a single course of action. दूसरे हमने आपसे बात की कि there is one need which is in service of another need. So one need which is serving the other need is the subsidiary need. For example, there are aggressive need, or the individual has a need for aggression. So this aggression need is actually subsidiary or in service of acquisition need. It is through aggression that an individual would acquire certain things. So हमने कहा कि multiple needs which can be satisfied in a single course of action, कि कई needs ऐसी हैं जो emerge करती हैं और वो एक ही कोर्स ऑफ एक्शन से फुलफिल हो जाएंगी. दूसरे हमने कहा देयर आर नीड्स विच आर इन सर्विस ऑफ अदर नीड्स. तो वो नीड जो दूसरी नीड को सर्व कर रही है इज कॉल्ड द सब्सिडरी नीड. और उसके लिए हमने कहा कि वन नीड इज द एग्रेशन, और वो सर्व करती है किस नीड को? बिल्कुल सही जनाब, एक्विजिशन या एक्वायरिंग नीड को. आपके levels of analysis. It is important to recognize that Murray's need represents a generalized construct. He drew a distinction between need and aim, where aim represents the specific goal adopted by the person as an expression of the need. Murray used the example of a general need for dominance and a specific aim of being elected the mayor of a city. बात आपसे हो रही है जनाब levels of analysis की. हमने कहा कि try to understand that there is a need. Need is a construct and it's a force which is there in the brain, and this force it organizes your behavior, your perception, your thinking. दूसरी तरफ हमने आपसे कहा कि there's an aim. An aim refers to, actually it is the expression of a goal that an individual wants to achieve. तो फिर अगर एक need है आपके अंदर of dominance, of being dominant and superior and achieving more, the need is there. So the goal or the aim would be of becoming the mayor, of becoming the governor of a city. So whether you want to be mayor of the city or whether you want to be governor of a city, well, the dominance need is there, और उसके goal ये है कि you become the mayor. So that is levels of analysis. Dear students, we have been talking to you about a very interesting theory of personality. and that is Henry Murray's personality. Dear students, today we have talked at length with you about a very interesting and fabulous and fantastic Henry Murray's personality. और हमने आपसे ये कहा कि personality is a construct which reflects the individual in its complexity. और जो हेनरी मरे है उसने आपको पर्सनैलिटी की बेशुमार डेफिनेशंस दी कि पर्सनैलिटी इज एन एब्स्ट्रैक्शन. Personality refers to events which are spanned over the entire life of an individual, beginning from birth and going up till adulthood. Then it refers to unique, novel experiences. It refers to that personality is located in the brain. So if it refers to individuals' unique thinking, perception, attitude, and personality functions, they reduce conflicts and they focus towards attainment of future goals. जनाब बात आपसे बहुत डिटेल में आज रही about different core concepts of Henry Murray's personality, जिसमें हमने बात की नीड क्या है, different types of needs क्या है, बात रही आपसे about levels of analysis. Dear students, there are still some very interesting and fabulous concepts which we have to discuss with you. जिसमें जनाब बात आपसे रहेगी कि प्रेस क्या है, थीमा क्या है, नीड रिडक्शन क्या है, जेनेटिक फैक्टर्स क्या है, मैचुरेशनल फैक्टर्स क्या है, लर्निंग क्या है, यूनिकनेस क्या है. We'll talk about रिसर्च टेक्निक्स और उसमें हम ये देखेंगे TAT के ऊपर हमारा फोकस होगा which is based on need assessment of an individual. This is one of the very interesting theories or I hope you will enjoy listening to that. So all the constructs that have been left behind will be covered in the coming next lecture. Up till then, take very good care of yourself. Go through the PowerPoint slides and the Word document that is available on the web page of Personality Psychology course. Hope to see you soon in our next lecture. Up till then, you can go through the different lecture PowerPoint slides and the PPTs and do write to us if you have a question. We'll try to respond to you and we'll try to satisfy you. Up till then, it is Khuda Hafiz from Virtual University Studio.